doing? I'm Hoyt.
Bill.
This is Bill. We're here today to talk to Bill about his CD. It's One Man, One Guitar. Bill, tell us where we can find this CD at.
Get in touch with me and I'll send you a copy. I don't have it on Spotify or anywhere. It's just, it's in my music room.
Your music room, huh? And I'll put Bill's card, a shot of his card in the show notes and the links for people who want to get in contact with Bill. So, Bill, tell us how you got started in all this music shenanigans.
Oh, Lord. Can we go all the way back to the beginning?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, that's got inspired back in 73 to play guitar. And picked it up back then, heard a song by Jim Croce. Mm-hmm. And that was it. That lit the fire and hadn't looked back since. So, that played it. I don't know, after I'd been playing 2 or 3 years, maybe I started trying to write a little bit. And so that took different directions. I wrote lyrics for a while. Entered into the, I want to say maybe the 80s, early 90s, well, late 80s. Started doing instrumentals, writing and playing instrumentals called, listening to artists such as Leo Kottke and Michael Hedges. And so, and it just kind of made the loop back to concentrating on writing lyrics now.
Yeah.
And playing solo.
You involved in the Songwriters Association? Can you tell me some about that, or what goes on and how that came about?
Songwriters. Well, we have a group of a group of writers, local writers, in the Baton Rouge area. Just tight knit group of writers. We have different events. It's really not Songwriter Association.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about
per se. That it's just, we have a songwriter showcase every Sunday at the local venue in Baton Rouge where different writers host and pull from the artists available to play the showcase, and afterwards there's an open mic for anybody that wants to perform.
So I talked to another couple guy, David Gotro, said he shared the stage with you.
Yeah.
And David's coming over to visit, but he told me there were some songwriter duos and functions and things going on around. But what kind of equipment and stuff you like to use?
Well, I play solo acoustic, and I was using a Bose L1 compact for a while. Now I'm using a QSC powered 10 or powered 8, depending on the venue, and a small mixer, the Lallet and Heath Z6 mixer.
What about your guitar? What you like to play?
The guitars, Seed Oil. I discovered Seed Oil about 7 years ago, and I have 3 of them now. So I really like the quality, the tone I get from them. Have a Golden mandolin, which is part of the Seed Oil company. Yeah. All Canadian-made instruments. Tell
us a little more about your family and your background, where you grew up, and how you got to really become interested in all this. Besides, the influences in your music, just environments.
Okay, well, grew up in Bogalusa, Louisiana. That's where I'm from. Left there, I guess, at about the age of permanently, if you will, about the age of 28. But grew up right there. It was all country back then, but where I was at had a dead-end road that went as far as our house. We was right there on the Pearl River swamps, practically. Yeah, it wouldn't be anything to get up in the morning and see coon, wild boar right in the backyard. Just all kinds of wild animals right there in the backyard, and just that environment. Way I come up, music always around the house, but my parents listened to big band music, so it really wasn't a whole lot of my thing. Maybe that had something to do with it. But a couple of the older brothers that was listening to people like the Beatles and John Free and the Playboys, and as I was entering school, folks like Elton John was becoming popular, and early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, and music just did something to me. It was, like I say, it was really the singer-songwriters of the early 70s is what really reached out and inspired me to do it.
Oh, you didn't hang out at a studio in the country out in Bogalusa too much? Or?
No, I didn't. I went out there after Blue Evans built it, and with his team that he had put together, and a local music store owner back home, Eugene Foster, bought it from Blue at the late 70s, early 80s, if memory serves me correct. And I had to go out there, but I used to buy my equipment from Eugene, and
Yeah.
I went out there to bring an amp. Actually, I brought the amp to his store to be repaired, and he invited me to come out there, so I went out there and took a tour of it. So it's a
Mhm.
really nice place, but yeah, I remember it well.
And where did you record this one at?
That was recorded in Pierre Part, Louisiana. My brother-in-law, Minor Blanchard,
Mm-hmm.
has a home studio,
Mm-hmm.
and we done it right there.
Yeah, he's not kin to Nelson Blanchard.
He is.
Yeah.
They're cousins.
Yeah, I knew Nelson from back in the day. I did a record at
Yeah, Techno Sound.
Techno Sound.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah, Techno Sound in Baton Rouge
Uh-huh.
with Nelson owned it, and I think Nelson's got his stuff set up at his house out there.
That's what somebody was saying. Yeah, Barry Haybear was telling us that, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. But it's a studio in the country, Bogalusa. And what inspires you to write songs?
Wow, that's a good question. That's a really just different things. Sometimes the mood just hits. Sometimes it could be something in this conversation. You know, as songwriters, we always listening to everything. Are you a writer yourself?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know then. I'm
Oh, yeah.
speaking to the choir here,
Uh-huh.
but we just listen to anything at all we can grab a hold of
Mm-hmm.
and to inspire us. And I get that a lot. And with the convenience of cell phones nowadays, I don't have to write it on a napkin or
Yeah.
reach across the seat of my truck and try to find something. I can pull out the phone and hit the record button and
Yeah, make a note.
record my line like that.
Yeah, my phone is full of them.
Yeah,
It's full of them.
But I had one. I finally wrote the song maybe probably no more than 2 years ago. A song I call Cowboy Chords. And the first, what really inspired me to write that one, for example, is, God man, when I started out as IBEW apprentice electrician back in 1984, I got in the apprenticeship program. One of the first journeyman electrician I worked for, anytime we finished up a job, it didn't matter what it was, anytime we finished up a job, he would look at me and say, Bill, that's just like shoeing a goat. You ever shoed a goat? Gator was his nickname. No, Gator, I've never shoed a goat. And shoot a goat, I've used that myself ever since then, and always,
Yeah.
I'm going to put that somehow, and I'm going to put that in a song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Well, fast forward 6 or 7 years, I'm in a music store one day that a friend of mine owns in Covington, and we talking, and he said, yeah, well, Orville was by here a while ago. He said, Bill's a pretty good guitar player, but all he uses is cowboy chords. So, man, cowboy chords.
He got you.
So about 2 years ago, I recorded a song I call Cowboy Chords. It's got Shoeing the Goat in it. I give Soul Train a plug. It's just a funny song, a comical song. But yeah, I just give you an example, which
Yeah.
just conversations with people inspire me to write more so than anything.
Do you play any other instruments besides guitar?
I play bass. I played bass in a band, 484 South Band out of the Baton Rouge area, Baton Rouge and Prairieville area. And I play, working on mandolin. I've been playing with the mandolin for about 3 or 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can strum on it and do pretty well. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any musicians you rub elbows with that are big time? I know we were talking earlier about a mutual guy we knew.
Not really. Not just him. I've crossed paths with some. I am fortunate enough to get to open shows on occasion at the Red Dragon Listening Room in Baton Rouge, and so
Yeah.
I've opened for some
Mm-hmm.
well-known artists.
You say you knew Harold Coward
Yes.
back out in the day. Yeah, I worked for
Yeah,
Harold.
yeah. Love Carol. Love
Mhm.
Carol, man.
He was a trip.
He was
definitely
that. To treat it lightly.
So how do you feel about where music is going today? What's your opinion on, I know a lot of schools have tailored back music programs, and we talk often about, karaoke type stuff and people, that are throwing things together and going out and saying, hey, I have a band, but you show up and they don't have a band. They're just themselves with a karaoke machine or singing along or something like that. I try to inspire, especially the youth that I hang around today, is to play an instrument, to learn to really play an instrument and develop stuff. But anyway, what's your
Yeah, well, that myself, and as far as taking it out of schools, any kind of art or music should be in schools. We had it, and it should be in schools. It's sad. What I do myself is primarily solo. And I tend to play solo and tend to go out and listen to other artists that are solo, duo, but yeah, that are playing music. I call myself a lazy musician, but maybe I'm just more true to the art. I don't. I go out and play myself, and I plug my instrument into the mixer and line out to the speaker, and I don't have any effects pedals. I like to play. I like what you would hear if I just had my guitar in hand. Is
organic music.
Organic. Thank you. Yeah. As far as what's happening, the music out there today, I'm not involved enough in it to say. I'm pretty much grounded in what I'm have a passion for.
I know there's a group on Facebook. It's an organic music listening group, and I joined them and I post some things in there every now and then. But they have a lot, and that's kind of their stipulation for that group is that it has they like organic music, real instruments, people playing, people singing type stuff, no electronics. So you a digital guy or analog guy?
Analog man in the digital world.
Yeah. Man, that sounds like a song.
Probably die analog, If I ever go into the digital, it'd be kicking and screaming, that's for sure.
Yeah. I like certain aspects of it. Some of the digital stuff is really good, but I'm kind of caught in between. I'm a little bit old school. I like to put my fingers on faders and touch stuff, tactiles, learning and adjusting things. But any of your favorite artists lately? Who you listening to? Who you like, local or not?
Local, we have some artists back home. I'd say back home, Baton Rouge. Actually, one of them just moved up back to Lafayette. Steve Giudice, who's from Lafayette, who's lived in Baton Rouge for decades, I guess. He's back in Lafayette now. But Steve, and good friend and good musician, writer, great writer. Barry A. Bear. A lot of guys out of Texas. I go to Texas 2 or 3 times a year and play a couple events over there. Now, of course, I still like, I'm stuck on the artists such as Willie Nelson and John Prine and Guy Clark. I'm trying to think of some new ones that I may have heard recently, and I'm coming up blank right now. And I've heard some. I hear artists come through Baton Rouge playing at the Red Dragon. And, a lot of the kind of music that I like. But solo acoustic duos, not new anymore, but I really dig Reckless Kelly. And that style of music, Cody Canada.
You have some shows coming up? Or?
I do. I just picked up a gig at the Jalapeno Mexican restaurant in Jackson, Louisiana, so I'll be there Tuesday night. From probably 6:30 to 8:30, and then I'll be back over there Friday from 6 to 8. We're going to start doing that on Tuesdays and Fridays. And of course, tonight I will be at the Red Dragon from, I want to say 6:30 to 7, but they're having their annual fundraiser this weekend. So there'll be a variety of different artists tonight as there was last night. And I'll be over there tonight. Next weekend is the 3rd Street Songwriter Festival in Baton Rouge, which will start Friday. There'll be a songwriting showcase or workshop Friday, I believe, during the day, and then Friday night will be a concert at the Red Dragon and a concert at the venue downtown. And then Saturday night will be all the various writers from all over, and I'll be there both playing and hosting a venue. I'll be at Hotel Indigo Saturday, and it'll go on Sunday. And then the weekend after that, I'll be at Tunica Hills. Actually, it's in St. Francisville, Louisiana, the Tunica Hills Festival. There I'll be playing and hosting at Magnolia Cafe Saturday. And that'll go on from, I think, 10 that morning to 10 Saturday night. And then even after the weekend after that, I'll be at in Garyville, Louisiana, for a festival called Sings and Strings that Peyton Falgood put together a few years ago. And there I'll host, I'll have a 2-hour slot that I'll host songwriters from the Baton Rouge area. I have 6 writers that'll play during those 2 hours. But that goes on all day long. People just in song circles, jamming, bands. And so the next few weeks are real busy.
Well, just send that to me, and I'll put it in the show notes. It'll be listed below where Bill's playing. Bill, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Hoyt. This is
I'm
Bill.
Bill.
And we are Louisiana Entertainment. Until next time, give a hoot and a holler to a coot and a collar. Y'all have a great day.
Mile, Texas highway lie here. It's kind good these dreams. Sunset, leaving Baton Rouge. Gonna watch it rise over green. Gonna watch that red ball rise over green.